So we're coming up on the end of the year, and what comes next for the channel? What new videos? What new things to do? I've got more ideas than time, clearly, but let me tell you a little bit about what I think should come next, and what I may, and you can tell me if this works for you. Hey, this is Perch, and if you're like me, you're self-conscious and you are kind of a neurotic mess that always questions what they do and thinks that they can do better and kind of has a million different thoughts that come around and interrupt them at all times. And sorry, that's how's that? Is that a good way to start a video? I probably not. One thing I think I should do though at some point is if I start a video and I start talking, and then like 2 minutes in, like the topic itself just bores me, or I lose my train of thought, or there's been a lot of these cases where I'll just stop and I'll delete it. And I've thought what I should do is collect up like 5 or 6 of these little like 1 to 2 minute like attempts at a video and just release a video of those attempts. And it'll either be really good content, like, hey, this was a good idea, I'd like to hear more, or it'll be like people like, oh my god, what the hell, just the worst, like the worst beginnings to all the different things I've done. I don't know. I'm always surprised. I've said this before, and I don't think that people necessarily believe me, but whenever somebody comments on a video, I'm always surprised. Like I'll see the little notification come up, and I'm like, wow, somebody listened to the video. Somebody listened to this. I can't believe anyone would do that. Why would they do that? And I look at the comment. I'm like, somebody's like, hey, this is a really good thought. I'm like, oh my god, this is good. That people got some value out of this. It makes my day. I mean, I'm very very pleased to see it. I don't expect it, and I never expect it. It's never like, on video we're well over 350 I think videos at this point, and I never expect it. There's no point where I'm like, all right, now I get it. I'm praise is all. It's great. What is it that what does the Ethan Van Sciver do? He does the humblest human sunbeam guy. I'm going to be the human rain cloud. That's what I'm going to. You go see. I take my kids see Inside Out, and you're looking at those characters, and you're like, man, I'm kind of a mix between all of these awful ones. I'm not Joy, but I'm kind of a combination of all the rest of them. Like, what is the emotion for angry, disgust, sad, fear? Like, what is that? What is that? It's Perch. That's what it is. I'm the sixth emotion. Anyway, no, but so videos that are coming out. As I said, I've wanted to do, and I've got some interviews in the can. I've got others that are being scheduled, and I had an unexpected long trip, so a bunch of these interviews didn't come that are coming, and will still come. So that's a lot of come in one. Now it's turned dirty. I need to make sure I hit that not for children button in YouTube, right? But there's a lot of interviews to come. And then I do want to get into kind of more of the history. What I need to do, though, is I need to spend some time when I'm in our office, and I think I'm going to have that opportunity here over the Thanksgiving holiday, where I'll just kind of hole up and then film like 20 videos on things where I need to do not a lot of research. I mean, if you're coming to this channel, you're hearing an informed opinion, but not a not like you're hearing a lot of stuff off my memory. And so you gauge for yourself how good that memory is. I'd say it's not great, but it's not terrible either. I mean, I've got a lot of background comic knowledge and information in my head, but then I'm not like Wes, who does the Thinking Critical channel, where I actually like then, go to a computer and look this stuff up first. I mean, every video has its kind of thing. Every channel has its thing that it does. Like the diversity in comics guy would roast a book, or he would talk about kind of military service and these kinds of things. So you can't you just know what to expect. You got that bit. And Wes, the Thinking Critical guy, he'll like come with research and facts, those things. And for me, it's bad audio quality. It's forgetting, remembering some really obscure piece of data, but then like forgetting what the U in X in the U the I was doing a video. I was like, it's the uncanny X-Men, but I couldn't, for whatever reason, the word uncanny wasn't coming into my head. So I'm going the no, what the Universal, the what X-Men? I sat there. It's like the stupidest thing. And finally, like pop it goes. I'm remembering that in issue 201, we had the big fight between Cyclops and Storm, and this is when Cyclops is having this kind of just minimalist costume there, and they were running around. We had some Romita Junior artwork and going on, and going through all the. And then I'm like, but what was it? It was the what X-Men again? The Universal X-Men? No. Anyway, I deleted that video. Yeah, I only take so much of my own self humiliation before some self survival kicks into my head. I'm like, nope, that's not going out. But in terms of other things, I really want to get into a little bit more kind of series of things, and I feel like one of the things I do on this channel that I've done on purpose, and it goes all the way back to the very, very, very first video in the introduction, is say I have not steered into online drama. And I think that's a good plan. And I think it's something that I'm still going to not do. I'm still going to avoid doing it. But I do think that there's an analysis about what has happened in comics over the last 3 years or so, about the last 3 years, that I think really bears looking at. I'm just not sure how to approach it because it really needs to cover kind of all the different elements of what's happened to the business, what's happened behind the scenes, what's happened to the retailers, what's happened to Diamond. And then, very importantly, because it is playing a big role, is what's happened online, what's happened in Twitter, what's happened with creators and kind of the war, what's happened with the Richard Meyer guy and his thing with YouTube and Comicsgate and anti-Comicsgate and just all this kind of because of this reason. It normally none of that stuff would really matter in the grand scheme of things normally, but today's current era of comics, the one we're currently living through, the writers and the creators take a lot of cues from their current life, the things that are immediately surrounding. They didn't used to do this as much, and the editorial would weed some of this stuff out. You would have more of an emphasis by, and we talked about this before, by editorial to make stories evergreen, make them so that they do not age out. And what's happened in the last 10 years or so, and folks like Bendis and Mark Miller and others have kind of popularized the idea, and Joss Whedon, of throwing in contemporary things into comics. And nothing wrong with that. It's fine. It's a style. It's okay. But when that same style is imitated by a lot of other people, you get this effect where comics start to acknowledge things like Comicsgate. And comics shouldn't. In no world should a big two Marvel or DC comic be referencing a online hashtag movement that in 10, 20 years won't exist. Twitter won't exist. I forget. I said this a while back, and I got some Comicsgate people got really bent out of shape about it, of saying, hey, how dare you? You're throwing shade on our, yes, this will endure and this will be. I'm like, dude, you're not getting it. I'm not insulting your movement or your comics or any of that. I'm more reflecting the fact that the odds of Twitter being alive 10 years from now are really low. You guys have to understand, it's unlikely. If I go back in time 10 years, MySpace, MySpace was kind of probably on its way out. If I go back 15 years, MySpace was this up and coming amazing thing. 15 years ago, MySpace. So the idea that 15 years from now, Twitter will even be alive is laughable. So anyway, I've gone too much. But it's weird to me that comic book creators, actual people right for the big two, are starting to reference memes and jokes that are gone. I mean, they age. The new reality who dis joke that it wasn't Dan Slott who put that in. Spider-Man. No, I don't remember. Anyway, a writer. Oh, it's Tom Taylor put that into his Spider-Man book, and the Invisible Woman saying "New reality, who dis?" And it's like you have to realize that joke is old as of printing. Like when you're reading it, you're going, "Ugh, that's been done to death." Imagine it 10 years from now. Like when Marvel Unlimited when Disney has bought DC and all the other companies, and it's just one big mega Mickey Comics conglomerate, and people are reading that panel on Marvel Unlimited, um, nobody's gonna nobody is going to know what in the hell that thing was all about. It's just going to be like, was Sue Storm having a stroke right there? So I do think it is important that at some point during this channel of mine, I will do. I've got to address to some extent what's happened and why in this particular period we've had. Maybe I just kind of have. But why did we get this lean into to these topics? It's a weird thing. Anyway, this video sucks. This is not at all what I intended to put out. So I'm just gonna throw this out as kind of an afternoon video. I'm sorry to everybody who listened to all this. You just listened to some super rambling thoughts, and I promise to do better next time. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you did. I'm again, don't if you're listening to this and you're like, should I subscribe? Should I not subscribe? Don't. Just don't like this video. Um, Thanks for listening. Leave me a comment. Follow me on Twitter, Comic Perch. I know why would you? Thank you. Bye.